Had a couple minutes, so I wanted to come out and talk to the family for a couple minutes, a little bit. Hope everyone's doing well. Just wait a minute for some people to go ahead and get the opportunity to get notified. Shalom, family. Great seeing everybody. Shalom, shalom. Good seeing everybody. Down here in beautiful Temecula, California, this afternoon. It's beautiful down here. Anybody's ever been to Temecula? So it's a beautiful area down here in Southern California, out here in the Inland Empire area. All praise. I'm glad you enjoyed that information yesterday. We got a lot more. Again, like I said, we're just, at this point, like I said, the only place you're going to be getting any information is people who, like myself, and other brothers and sisters who are reading other books and who the Holy Spirit is working with and connecting information. We're not getting stuck on the names that they put on. They're going to put fake and false names on our information. As you can see, like they do like little things like that, and that's usually enough to get our people to not. Before it was enough to not give our people a reason not to look at things. Like people wouldn't look at the Book of Mormon because it said that black skin was a curse. So that one little saying all of a sudden negates all the other information in the Book of Mormon. You see what I'm saying? And that was like, as you can see how easily people can be taken off the path. And then we got people in these groups and these camps. Oh, I'm not gonna read the Book of Mormon. It says that black skin's a curse. Is black skin a curse? Is black skin really a curse? Everybody wants to be us. Even when we were at the bottom, everybody wanted to be us. So do you really think they really believe that black skin was a curse? You see what I'm saying? Like you can't go by what these people say, okay? If they really believe that they were superior and that our skin was a curse, that they would have to set up all of these laws and all these rules to hold us down. You really think that they believe our skin is a curse, so therefore make it illegal for us to read, make it illegal for us to go to this school, make it illegal for us to get this opportunity, make it illegal for us to get, be put on an equal status, make it illegal for us to be able to buy homes and have generational wealth, make it illegal for us to even stand, with two or three of us at a street corner. They're so scared of us that they made that illegal for just two or three of us just to be standing and not doing anything. You see what I'm saying? Like, so they know that our skin is not a curse. It's actually a blessing that the whole world has been trying. They go out and tan. They go out and get this surgery and that surgery in order to look like us, right? You don't see us trying to go out and look like them, except for before how we used to, bleach our hair, straighten our hair, do stuff like that. I said, but everybody is going back to how things used to be. right? Exactly, Queen Mommy. Why do they lay in the sun trying to get dark and get melanated like us? That's the whole thing. So just and people have been so quick to like listen to one little thing they say and then discount information. Oh, the whole wisdom of the Irish. Well, that's those Irish people you see today. Really? I said, do you see the Irish people of today being the ones leading the world, leading the nation in its awakening? You see what I'm saying? Like they're not doing anything. And that's why people who keep saying that they're the original Mayans, they're the original Aztecs. Now, when you start reading these other books I'm bringing out, like with the Florentine Codex and how the Most High was dealing with those people. He was dealing with Moctezuma. He was dealing with the Aztecs. He was dealing with the Mayans. He gave them knowledge. He gave them understanding. He kept the other nations away, right? He kept the other nations away from our lands. So he was protecting a group of people here because he didn't want them, you know, messing around and mixing up and wasting our time with the Gentiles. Now, those people, many of them are Gentiles. So why would the Most High be trying to keep, how could they be the original people? The vast majority of those people are Christians and Catholics. They're pushing the religions of this world. Even when they have the opportunity now to actually bring out truth and go against the religions, they don't. They don't go against the religion. I mean, in 2000, okay, we're in October 26, 2025. There's been all this information that I can tell for myself, I can speak for myself, that I've been bringing out for years, that's just pretty much just destroyed the Catholic Church, destroyed the Christian Church. And there's no reason for you to still be under the subjection of these people unless you want to be. You see what I'm saying? There's no reason for you to be under the control of the Christian and Catholic Church now unless you choose to be. Grace to you, Brother Moriel. Queen Mommy, thank you guys again. Yosef, Yoshua, thank you guys for being here and taking care of the chat. We appreciate you. There is no reason for you to be under any of the control of the Pope anymore. The Pope, I have exposed that church for years. I've been exposing the Pope. I've been exposing the Inquisition. I've been exposing their history. All you got to do is go back and look. So if you choose now to continue to support those churches, you do that on your own peril. Because see, before there was no one really able to bring out all this historical information that's been hidden in a lot of these books. Okay, very few people would do that, right? You see, we're telling our own story now. We're bringing out our own information, right? We're telling you that those people that the church was going after were the Israelites, not Negroes. That's what y'all did before. Was you like, oh, well, they're black people. They don't matter. They're only 3/5 of a man. While you guys are still saying John 3:16, everybody, God loves everybody. You guys would be saying these kinds of things. But now I'm telling you, we're not black people. We're not Negroes. We're not African. We're not slaves. We are the sons and daughters of the Most High. And I've proven that over the years as well. We fit the prophecies, right? So we've been doing this now for years. So you continue to go to these churches and support these churches and give them your money at your own peril. Just like that woman who the pastor whined and told her to bring me 1,000 plus another 1,000. And she was like trying to, she gave him $1,200. He showed you how he didn't even appreciate the $1,200 that the sister tried to give him. And, well, that's not what I asked for. So you got that kind of stuff going on, right? And she's like, oh, I'm going to keep working on it. I'm going to work on the other 800. The fact that you're going to work on the other 800 shows you, again, that you are choosing to follow a pastor that has not proven himself whatsoever. He's not proven that he's a man of God, a man of the Most High. He's not taught you anything. What has he taught you? Nothing. So again, you've chosen to stay there. But this is what happens. I mean, like, a lot of women don't have men to guide them in this situation, right? And there's not a lot of men that are in a position to lead anymore. And again, that all goes back to the system. They talk about how on the 1st, they're getting ready to get rid of the EBT system, right? Or people aren't going to be getting their EBT money or benefits, SNAP benefits, and things like that. Yes, I understand that it could be a sad situation. I said, but that system has destroyed our nation. a lot of these women sold out to the system, sold their families out for the benefits that they received through the EBT system, right? Hey, I grew up, we were on welfare. I lived in Kentucky for a time, away from my mom and my dad, and we were on welfare. I said, but my family back there, they're like on it generationally. They're not on it like for a little bit of time. They've been on it for most of their lives. And then their children have kids, and then they're on it for a big portion of their lives. So this is like, but the thing is that the government allowed this. The government allowed this to be set up like this, right? The government was the one that set this up. So and with us, what happened? You couldn't have a man in the house. You couldn't have the black man in the house. So then you got all these women who keep walking around here disrespecting us men, us black men, and saying, I don't need you, nigga. I can do shit by myself. I don't need you out here. I raise these kids by myself. I don't need you, nigga. Nigga, you ain't shit. That's what we got all the time from our women. But all the while, they did need help, but they were getting help from the government. This is all part of why we have $38 trillion of debt, because they were giving people EBT, SNAP, but not just us, they're also giving it to the other nations that have been coming here, been giving them free money. All these immigrants, they're giving them free money, free opportunities, and letting their men stay in the house and bank all their money. So don't sit here and talk all this shit like you did the shit by yourself, because you didn't. You did it with the help of the Edomites. You chose to not have that man in the house, let the kids grow up without a father figure, and now we got monsters all over the place. We got, physically strong men, but mentally and spiritually dead, because there was no one in the house to teach them. That's why things have from the 50s until now have gotten worse for us, because those systems were in place and set up. They were set up to predominantly to destroy our people. They could have said, they could have did us like they did the immigrants. Okay, we're going to give you this welfare, we're going to give you this SNAP, but your man can stay home and he can bank his money, and you guys can, eventually get off of this system and create strong families. You guys can have the man in the house so he can, help rear his children and teach him direction, teach him how he's supposed to. No, for us, it was, no, I'm going to give you these benefits, I'm going to give you this money, but that man can't be in the house. Because that is what is destroying. That's what has destroyed our children. But see, the other nations, they didn't do that. They let the man stay in the house. They're like, well, I know he's not supposed to be here, but I'm just going to look the other way. I'm not going to check. But they did check for us. So, but see, Trump is not destroying. This shutdown is not by men. The shutdown is by the Most High. But see, people got this thought that, oh, well, it's hurting the kids. It's the kids. You guys have never cared about our kids. You never cared about what happened to our children. So all of a sudden now you're talking about like, oh, well, my kids are going to go hungry. Did you guys care when our Israelite children went hungry? See, this is what happens, like on the picture, when I showed you guys, on the picture of the thumbnail, and it talks about how there's a black man who's getting all these like arrows shot in his back, and it says that we fought for you, we fought for everyone, and that's a blatant lie. We did not fight for everyone. We fought for our own rights. But you other nations made us. You put that whole theory out there that we were fighting for everybody. I'm not fighting for everybody. And if you look at the bottom of that thumbnail, you see how when it says like nobody cares about us. And that's exactly it. So, see, I'm not under the delusion that I need to fight for everyone, because see, everybody walks past me every single day. I'll have shirts like this. I'll have shirts like my 2019. I'll have shirts that are thought-provoking, and and no one will say. They'll look at the shirt and they'll walk away. They'll look at the shirt and they'll leave, but they'll never bring up a conversation. They'll never ask, because they already know that is not a door I want to open. That is a door right here that they do not want to open and they do not want to enter, because it all makes sense. This picture alone makes sense. We were blind and now we see. And then the Most High is kinging his people again. You can say, why would I fight for a wicked person? Why would I fight for someone who's indifferent towards me? I see that's what they always used to write. Oh, well, you need to be a bigger person. You need to be the one that initiate. I don't need to be the bigger person. I don't need to initiate shit. I don't need to be the bigger person for anybody. I don't need to. I don't need to. You know, I don't need to do that for anybody. And if you can see this thing on the here, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of what is it? Wisdom, and the Holy One is understanding. I'm in a Christian school right here, but it's like, but the thing is that you guys talk about wisdom and understanding and knowledge. You guys have none of it. You other nations have none of it. You know, I said I'm on this Christian campus here in Temecula, and I said it's got. I want to say it has like 100 acres of land. How'd you guys get that? In the heart of Temecula, how did you guys get this land? And whoever donated to you, how did they get it? You see what I'm saying? Like, you guys run around here with all these benefits and all this beauty and all these things, and you guys want to walk around like you guys are so loving, and your whole history is nothing but rape, rob, murder, stealing, and hiding it. And you think that we would have gone through all the slavery from 1492? You think we would have went through all that slavery, all that mistreatment from 1492 to 1865? And then you think that from 1865 to 1965, we would have gone through all that maltreatment while everybody, the whole world, was just watching us being treated like shit. Watching all these laws, watching the fact that we couldn't protect our children, our women. The laws made it so we couldn't protect ourselves, we couldn't have weapons, that we couldn't even go to the police officers to even file a complaint. You think we would have gone through all that? I'm watching my wife get raped in front of me, my daughter get raped in front of me, them selling my son, selling my daughters. You think I would have gone through all of that, and then from 1865, where I was supposed to be free, all the way until 1965, and I would have been fighting for everybody in 1965? You think my people were going to be fighting for everyone to have rights that they had already had that I did not enjoy? You really think that that's what we were fighting for in the civil rights movement? Does that make absolutely? Would you, if you were treated like that, would you fight for everyone? Because everyone was already against us at that time. Psalms 83 was in full effect at that time. Psalms 83 was in full effect. So you guys, we were watching how everybody else was coming over and coming from on Ellis Island and getting all these benefits. You think somehow that we would have been like, oh, you know what? We need to fight for all of us to get rights, for all of us to get, equal treatment, when we're the only ones who are not getting treated equally. When 1965 happened, who were the only people that were not getting treated equally? Us. So why would I have to fight for everybody else to get treatment that they were already getting that we did not get? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm so happy today. I'm so happy right now, because now we see the Father moving for us. And do I have any compassion for the other nations? Absolutely not. You know why? Because you walk around here still right now with all this knowledge out here, and you still ignore us. You still ignore all of your actions. You still ignore the fact that all of you immigrants were allowed to come over here. I sit here and watch, I look at Asians, I look at East Indians, right? I look at Latinos, I look at Europeans, I look at Africans, and I see none of you standing up to admit anything that your forefathers have done. I see none of you, I see Middle Eastern. I was looking at a couple in front of me yesterday. I'm just kind of like looking at them. Like, you're not gonna get any like smiles from me that make you feel comfortable, to think I'm, I want to make friends and, have a great relationship going forward. Fuck that. That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. I said, because you guys have shown that if you had it in your power, you would keep us down at the bottom forever. So you can continue in this charade. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I'm leading with. So you can see this right. You can see this right in the jump. You can see what I'm about. I'm not about, making you feel comfortable. I'm not about, not telling the truth and not bringing out any truth so that you feel comfortable. You've been comfortable too long. You've been comfortable too long. You know, you got these Christian schools over here talking about the Bible when they don't even, when we stepped, you look, you guys were all on social media. You guys see the Israelites. You guys tried to say, oh, well, they only believe that black people can be saved. It's just so that you can try to feel comfortable in your lie. Like, I'm telling you right now, ain't nobody getting saved. Everybody's gonna have to pay. Jesus ain't saving nobody. Jesus didn't save us. He's damn sure not gonna save you. We're coming out of our cursing. I'm giving you some dap. There you go. You're going in. I'll see you on the other side when I'm on the top and you're at the bottom. Yeah, no compassion. You know, I said, we tried that. We tried to be compassionate with you. We tried to be cool with you. We tried to, hey, you know what? Even before we got into this truth, you know what? Slavery was in the past. We're trying to go forward. You know, I had that mentality for a while. You know, that was in the past. It was a long time ago. You know, things are going to be fair going forward. And now I realized things were never fair. And there's no way you can fix this system because, like I said, that $38 trillion funded the EBT program for all these years. Yes, the other nations benefit them even more, longer time. Because I want to say one of the videos I was watching, they were saying like they had Social Security and all that, and EBT and welfare, and people had them from the 30s, the 1930s. We didn't even get it to 1960, so y'all ain't able to enjoy that, which I already knew that. Like Social Security, that stuff went back to the New Deal, but they excluded us from that. So again, there was just all this information that we didn't know, that we weren't privy to, but now we are, and that's what we're saying on. We're not no compassion because you don't deserve it because you're not even happy. Even in 2025, October 2025, you can see that CI Atlas is right on the other side of the sun. You know, you can see that your people are terrified, and you still don't think that you need to talk to us about what you've done. You don't think you need to, but we're not worthy for you to even admit like the wrongs that you've done to us. You know what I mean? Let me move over this way a little bit. Yeah, I love that. I know I'm getting it's a little windy, but that's okay. I said that's the angel of wind. I love that. I love the wind. Yep, their man-made privileges are drying up now, right? And you're gonna be wanting our prayers. You're gonna be wanting us to pray for you. You're gonna be wanting us to, stand up for you. See, that person died a long time ago. That the thought that we're gonna, come together as a people, we're all gonna work together as a people and make things better. You guys had that opportunity a long time ago, and you guys never, try to make things right with us. Even to today, which is crazy. Like even today, you guys don't even try to make things right now. Like this is a private Christian school that I'm at right now. Look at that. This is all like their property over here in Temecula. Let me see, like it's 100 acres of land over here. It's like a college campus. And like I said, where'd y'all get this land from? Where'd you guys get the money for this place? How do you guys get the money? And the people who are giving you all this money for this, where'd they get their money from? People with the big donors, where'd they get the money from? How many generations of wealth do they have to give to this place? See what I'm saying? And see, yeah, I am a sad dude. I am very sad. I'm sad that your people did not try to make things right before this. Your people did not try to fix the situation before this. And that's the whole thing. See, it's never about taking responsibility for you and your people's and your generation's actions. You never want to take, responsibility for the actions of your forefathers. And it doesn't matter. You walked around, you shouldn't have walked around with my book. You guys were the ones who walked around with my book acting like it was yours, and it's not. We are the chosen. And I just did a video on TikTok, and I shared that one. And I'm going to play the one video I played on it because it was very, very important. I said, this is what you guys have to understand. We are the chosen. Ish is not the chosen. And you churchgoers who are enjoying, look again, who are enjoying the fruits of your labors, which is rape. Your labor was rape, rob, murdering, and stealing everything. I said, this is like 100+ acre school here, right? And none of you guys talk about how you got it. Did you get it? Did you get it through proper means? Did you just work hard for it? Or did your forefathers rape, rob, and steal?
You're signing your own spiritual death notice. Let that marinate. Because when you curse the chosen, you're not just fighting them, you're fighting God's favor on their life. When someone is chosen, they walk with divine protection. Every attack, every lie, every attempt to destroy them becomes return to sender. You can't curse what God has already blessed. You can't block what's divinely assigned. And you certainly can't destroy destiny that has been written before time began. Are the chosen tested? You bet. They get betrayed, misunderstood, and even isolated. But every setback only elevates them higher because their pain is their training ground. When you curse the chosen, you do it at your own peril because you're revealing your festering envy and spiritual blindness, sowing seeds that will backfire on you. Because here's the divine law. You can't touch what God has anointed. When you understand that, you'll stop competing with them and start learning from them.
But see, this has been your opportunity to learn. You've had your opportunity to learn from myself from over 2,100 videos. I am one of the chosen. I haven't given, see, the battle, like I showed you guys yesterday, was in them books. In those books, and that reading, and getting this knowledge, understanding, and the understanding from the Holy Spirit. You've been battling against the chosen. That's why you guys messing with numbers and acting like there's only, so many people here every single time. It's always the same number. Just like the video I did yesterday. There were 5,000 people in the live yesterday. And that was, it was more than that. But they gave me at least 5,000 people in the live. So before the live even went up, it started at 5,000 people. And then again, like always, it gets to the day one, and it's 10,000 people. 10,000. So you're trying to say that for an hour there's 5,000 people before I even started, but for the next 24 hours there's only 5,000 people. See, this is how you guys fight the chosen. You fight. All your other channels are crap, are BS. Every single, if you look at my videos, you'll see 1.4, 1.5 thousand likes, 10,000 views for the most part. That's what you see. How is it possible that almost like 2 or 3 videos will stop at 10,000 and 1.4 thousand, and they'll be days apart, and they all the exact same numbers? See, this is why, you guys are fighting the chosen, and it's not going to go well for you, because I have been brought, just like other brothers and sisters have been brought, to bring you guys more knowledge and more understanding, and your people in the higher ups are trying to limit the scope of this truth, which is you're battling the chosen. You're battling the Most High. You're not battling me. And that's what the guy said. Like, you're not battling these people. You're battling what's already been divinely ordained. It has been divinely ordained that we are on top. We are the head. This is going back to the way it's always been. It's not nothing new. It's the way we're going back to the revealing of how things used to be and have always been, and how always will be going forward. Always going forward. Just like right now, we're stuck at the 600s. Like I said, it doesn't matter to me. I said, this is going to be what happens when you can't hear this message anymore. And then all of a sudden, everybody's going to be like, I want to hear the chosen speak. I want to hear what they have to say. I said, we have, and they're going to talk to the devil. They're going to talk to the people who've been running things. It says, you alienated us from the Most High. You alienated us from God. You alienated us from the power of the universe. And that is exactly what they have done. They're every time they limit my channel, they're not hurting me. They're hurting you. They're hurting you other nations. They're hurting you Gentiles who could have been cleaving, who might have had opportunity to cleave to these people, to the truth, and actually stay here in the lands. Yeah, you be servants and handmaids, but that's much better than what's coming for you. It's much better than what's coming for you. Being a servant in a righteous kingdom, I said, is much better than the destruction that's coming for you. Right? So, I mean, again, that's your choice. But your handlers have been making this choice for you now. Exactly. They're going to be running around looking for the word and not going to be able to find it. Because you're going to realize that the only people that the Most High has, that was out here to tell you the truth, was a very small, select group of people that could have broken this down for you. See, we've been stuck now at 6:55 for like the last 10, 15 minutes, not moving, barely moving. So again, like I said, that's not hurting me. That's not hurting me. I said, our slots have already been predetermined. That's why he awakened us. That's why he awakened us, because we were already predetermined to be awakened. Exactly, right? You will be happy as a servant and a handmaid, for the children of the Most High. You would have been, I said, but you're going to be looking for these people, your handlers, later on. I said, because you're going to realize that all the stuff that you have been thinking was yours is not yours. That you think white Jesus is coming to save you, he ain't coming. That should already be evident by now. That should already be, I said, that should already be evident by now. Exactly, Yosef. I said, everybody's a paid actor. They're all acting. I said, but they're all doing the will of the Most High. So again, you see all these videos about EBT and SNAP, and my baby's got to eat, so I'm going to go in and just steal stuff. Okay, I said, well, you're just going to suffer the consequences. I mean, it is what it is. I said, but the whole thing was that, our women, laying down with all these men, having all these different children, telling all the men that, laying down with the ones that weren't responsible. They're not responsible. They've already got multiple baby mamas, right? But hey, he looks good. He's got time for me because he don't work. He don't do anything. He don't study. I said, these are the choices that our women have been making, right? And then the government allows it by giving them money and housing and everything else. While most of us have to work and have to suffer through, not having enough, or always working, picking up more shifts, doing this, doing that, right? But see, those ones are the ones also when we try to tell them the truth. I said, we try to tell them the truth, they just laugh in our faces. Remember, I said, this takedown is not just the white man. That's what the camps I talk about all the time. The white man, the white man, the white man. I said, our own people are caught up. I said, they be the one laughing about us and eating whatever they want to eat, and then talking shit about us being in the truth while they're getting benefits. And I said, and government handouts, I said, that was the devil giving you that to keep you in that position. I said, that was your payment. Like everybody's got a price, right? Everybody's got a price to pay, and a price to follow the devil or, to follow the Most High. And they chose, okay, well, I'll get EBT for decades. I'll stay home. I'll get free rent, for decades. And I'll just, teach my kids to do the same thing. Do you really think the Most High is happy with children being raised in a house without a man, without a father figure? You really think that that's what the Most High really wanted? See, that's not the Most High's plan or setup. That was Satan's plan, to destroy our families. You see what I'm saying? And no one's saying not everybody. I mean, that's the whole thing with a lot of these people. It's like a lot of people want to say that, well, it's not everybody. We know it's not everybody, but just like it's not everybody saying it's truth either. I said, oh, Negroes are all Judah. We all already know that not all Negroes are Judah. We all understand that, right? I said, but what I'm telling you is that our youth is destroyed. Our youth in all groups is destroyed. I said black people, white people, brown people, yellow people. I said, because again, this is what happens when the devil is allowed to run the world, right? And there is no Israelites who have been awakened to give the truth out. So you got people that are still thinking that, you know, they're going to be able to go to college, you know, come out, you know, get a degree, and going to be able to buy homes, and they're still holding on to that American dream, which that American dream is over with. They are $38 trillion in debt. That's why all this is also happening. How you can't pay that? They're running up the debt trillions of dollars every month. Every month. And again, these are all things this is all that extra spending that they gave to the immigrants. That they gave all this free stuff to the immigrants at the end here. They gave all this free stuff to our people. Not nearly as much as the other people, but they still gave them some free stuff, that so long as they did what? Destroy the family. So long as they destroy the family. So people are like, oh, well, when they finish, you know, and they open up the government again, you know, when they, I said, open it up. How are they going to open it up again? They're going to keep on just getting more debt. So eventually, it's not going to keep going on like this. CI Atlas is here. CI Atlas is here. You think? I mean, they haven't been wanting to show anybody anything. They've, you know, hidden all the pictures and everything else, right? I said, so what would happen if they opened up the government? So they have another government shutdown in a few months, and then the debt would be at 40 trillion, 41 trillion. I mean, what's the point at this point? This society is not sustainable anymore. Right? The government is fried. I said it's done, and it's a complete wrap for them. Exactly. I can't see it opening up. I said, because like I said, we'll see what happens. I said, is this just another story to get people's energies? We'll see. You know, we'll see. I said, but we do know that they are at the end. How it comes, I said, that's between the Most High and them, right? But I want to share a video. I mean, I'm going to share more videos over on TikTok. So
These are the children.
And talking about like resting, how resting is, and being at peace is for our manifestation. And I totally agree with this, because Pluto says the same thing. When people are in a position where they're constantly worried about where their next meal is going to come from, how they're going to pay this bill, how they're going to pay that bill, that they can't manifest with Pluto. I shared this in a video a while ago. So what she said right here really much corroborates what that book of Pluto talks about. Okay, so let me play here.
Let me tell you why they don't want us to rest. Let me tell you why the wicked doesn't want us to rest. Because they don't want us to relax our nervous system. Relaxing your nervous system is directly connected to your manifestations. The quicker you relax your nervous system, quiet your mind, the more the roads open for your manifestations. It's spiritual, but it's also science. These are the secrets. This is the shit that they don't teach us. Okay? That's why in the Bible it says there's no rest for the wicked. Okay? There's no rest for the wicked, because rest is a spiritual tool for manifestation. It is a spiritual tool for transcending. It is a spiritual tool for ascension. The enemy, the wicked, does not want you to rest. If you pay attention, a lot of motherfuckers, as soon as they wake up out their bed, they gotta get up and do something. They can't lay there. They can't sit with themselves. They can't hear themselves. They can't listen to themselves. They are afraid of their own self. They are afraid of their shadows. That's why as soon as they wake up, they gotta do something. Because their spirit has been hijacked. So as soon as they rise up, they give their energy to the system. That's how the system keeps running off our energy. Let me tell you why they don't want us to rest.
See, and that's why, you know, jobs that's why a lot of people who keep saying like, what, I did a great job. I worked hard for this. You know, I came over here. I didn't cause any problems, and I worked hard. Yes, for the system. You did not. You're constantly getting up at you know, at 8 o'clock. No, sorry, at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're getting home at 8 o'clock at night. You're running. You sleep for a couple hours. You get up, you do the same thing again and again and again. And this world makes you think that somehow that is what you're here for, and that is not what you've been put here for. You see what I'm saying? That's why many of the Latinos, the Asians, you know, black people, Africans, all East Indians, Asians, you know, they always be like, you know, well, I worked hard. I worked hard for this. I worked hard for this little piece of land. I worked hard for my big bank account. I worked hard for this car. I said, but manifesting things, as far as that was just things you're given because you've been working hard for the white man. But manifesting things through the power of the planets, through the power of the Most High, through the power that we have with the Holy Spirit, I said, you don't do that. You see what I'm saying? So this whole thing about thinking that you should be able to stay in America because you worked hard, that's not what this land was set up for. The land was not set up for you just to be a worker bee for your whole life. Worked hard at bootlicking, right? Is, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would the Most High, if the Most High wanted us to work hard, why would he just provide everything for us? Why would he just give us everything that we needed right here? Why would he, if it all was just about working super hard all the time, why would he talk about, you know, having a jubilee where you have like a whole year to just not do anything but praise the Most High? You imagine like how much manifesting we can do, all of us, in a year if we didn't have to work? If we didn't have to work, if we can just wake up, spend time with the Most High, spend time with the Holy Spirit, spend time with the earth. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's why they got rid of that, because we're going to be able to manifest too much. And that's what's happening right now. That's why all the stories are not for them. All of these fake stories every single day are not for them. They're for us. They're trying to harvest our energy so that we don't manifest for ourselves. Or you guys, you know, you guys worked hard for everybody. You guys were fighting for rights for everybody. Those are the kind of things that they were manifesting, that we were going to fight for our rights, but everybody was going to take advantage of that. You see what I'm saying? And I say, now you understand like why the Most High has given us these lands, and we were separated from everybody, so that we didn't have to worry about all of that. You'd have your husband, you have your wife, you know, you have your children, you know, you have your land, you have all the things that you need, and then you have time to worship Him. You have time to worship and thank Him and her, our mother. You see how it all makes sense? Just something as simple as just being quiet and resting and manifesting. Right, maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Exactly, right? Now, see, this is why they have to be removed. This is why they keep saying, "Oh, these lands are gonna have to be destroyed." Why? I said these lands are our blessing. So you guys have already tried to destroy our lands while you were here. So that's why they're always. That the whole thing was this World War III. Again, but I tell you guys, that is a 3 parts breakdown of prophecy. Everything has to end in war and destruction somehow. You see what I'm saying? Everything has to happen in war and destruction, because for them, that's all their prophecy is. Destroying our lands. Look at these lands are absolutely beautiful. Why would the Most High destroy them when we can just get rid of you? Why would the Most High destroy the lands when we just get rid of you? Give power and control over our own lands back to our people and get rid of you. That's much easier to do than destroy everything. But see, this all should be making much more sense. And it's how much, you know, things have shifted for us, and the Most High has been providing for us even now, so that we can spend more time with Him, spend more time with the Holy Spirit, you know, making connections with our mother. So I'm gonna let you guys go. It was great hanging out with you guys today. Go ahead and check out the video I also have over on TikTok. So they let it barely get up to 700 people now. I had too many yesterday, so they're like, "Yeah, you can't be having too many, you know." So we're gonna mess with these ones here, but it doesn't matter. Like I said yesterday, as soon as I turned it off, they tell me how many people were there. I said it was about 5,000 people that were here yesterday. But the video only gets up to 10,000. So like I said, 24 hours, another 5,000. But that's what they've been stopping it at, around 10,000. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but that's pretty much it. But 1,500 likes. I'll be looking at other videos. They'll have 1,000 likes and 80,000 views. But every video I put up, it'll get to about 1,500 likes, and it'll pretty much stop. But that's okay. I said, you're only hurting yourself. I said, you can't hinder what the Most High has chosen. And you can easily see who's chosen and who's not now. Much love, family. Shalom.